The Avto-Diesel Yaroslavl motor plant in Russia, which manufactures engines for military equipment, including the Topol-M missile systems, caught fire. The Astra news outlet reported on this. The fire broke out at the facility around 2 a.m. local time on June 4, 2025. The blaze erupted in a workshop where high-performance diesel engines are produced. Both local authorities and the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations confirmed the incident. It has been officially reported that the fire broke out in a production building covering an area of approximately 400 square meters. The cause of the blaze has not yet been determined. As of now, it has been reported that the fire has been localized. The Avtodiesel PJSC Yaroslavl motor plant is one of the largest manufacturers in Russia of multi-purpose diesel engines, clutches, gearboxes, spare parts for them, as well as stationary units based on these engines. In May 2024, the company came under U.S. sanctions due to its cooperation with the Russian Ministry of Defense, which involves the production of power units for military equipment. In particular, the line of 12-cylinder YAMZ engines is widely used in various types of military vehicles. For example, the YAMZ 240 engine, with a power output of 360 to 780 horsepower, is installed on self-propelled launchers of the 9K-58 Smerch multiple launch rocket system, the 9K-79 Tochka system, and other military equipment. Meanwhile, high-power YAMZ 850 engines, boosted up to 1,500 horsepower, are used to arm Russia's strategic nuclear deterrent forces. Specifically, they are installed on the self-propelled launchers of the RS-12M Topol and RS-24 Yars intercontinental missile systems. The plant also produces engines for more widely used models of military equipment. For example, the YAMZ 530 engine, with a power output of 136 to 360 horsepower, is installed on armored vehicles such as the Tiger, Volk, and others. Militarny previously reported that strike drones targeted 2 defense industry facilities in Tula, Russia. The facilities, which are part of the state corporation Rostec, are involved in producing multiple launch rocket systems and the Pantsir-S surface-to-air missile and anti-aircraft artillery systems. Photographic evidence confirms that the facility, which is currently a leading enterprise in developing and producing multiple launch rocket systems, heavy flamethrower systems, ammunition for them, as well as unguided and guided missiles, was struck. Radio Free Europe. Radio Liberty has published before and after satellite images of the Russian Belaya airbase in the Irkutsk region, which was attacked by Ukrainian drones. At least 11 strategic bombers were destroyed there, 7 Tu-95s and 4 Tu-22 M3s. In addition, an An-12 transport aircraft was damaged. Satellite images have confirmed the destruction of 13 Russian military aircraft at the Belaya and Olenya air bases during the Ukrainian Operation Spider's Web. The destroyed aircraft include strategic bombers Tu-95, long-range supersonic Tu-22 M3 bombers, and a military transport plane An-12. Satellite images from Planet Labs, dated June 4th, of the Russian Belaya airbase in the Irkutsk region, Russia, confirmed the destruction of the aircraft as a result of an attack by Ukrainian FPV drones. Schemes. Corruption in detail. RFERL radio. Svoboda published these images. These photos show the destruction of at least 7 strategic bombers, 3 Tu-95s and 4 Tu-22s. However, OSINT researchers from the Oko Gora Telegram channel, comparing images from June 2nd and June 4th, discovered that one of the Tu-95 aircraft was either replaced by the Russians or quickly repaired and cleaned to make it appear undamaged. This aircraft had suffered serious damage and burn marks following the attack. Therefore, it can be concluded that not 3, but 4 Tu-95 strategic bombers were destroyed at the Russian Belaya airbase. A SAR satellite image from June 2nd, which was shared on social media, shows the destruction of 4 Russian Tu-95 bombers and 1 An-12 transport aircraft at the Olenya airbase in the Murmansk region. Thus, the analysis of satellite images, footage from Ukrainian drones, and social media posts confirms the destruction of at least 12 airborne missile carriers at Russian airfields, 8 Tu-95 bombers, 4 Tu-22 M3 bombers, and 1 military transport and 12 aircraft. On the afternoon of June 1st, the Security Service of Ukraine launched drone attacks on several Russian military airfields inside Russian territory. The special operation was named Spider's Web and had been in preparation for a year and a half. Online communities have called this day the new Tsushima for Russian military aviation. According to official information, the Security Service of Ukraine used 117 strike drones, which were transported on trucks. In his address on the same day, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky shared key details of the operation, noting that the operation's office inside Russia was located near the FSS headquarters. Ukrainians are incredible. Ukrainian defense forces are writing history with their innovation, ingenuity, and intelligence. Ukraine is the first in world history to destroy a warship with a naval drone, destroy a submarine with a cruise missile, shoot down Russian drones using Ukrainian drones, destroy a helicopter from a naval drone, destroy a fighter jet with a naval drone, destroy strategic bombers with FPV drones. To be continued, I'm sure. After the strategic aircraft attacks, a Russian blogger bleakly describes how aircraft are at risk all over the world. The passions about the planes have died down, and we can take a sober look at the situation. Was the airport prepared to repel a UAV attack? Yes, the famous conscript prepared to shoot down aircraft-type drones with an anti-aircraft gun. Could a conscript do anything against an FPV drone? No, let's face it. No airport in the world can repel an FPV drone raid. Let's take American facilities. In Niger, I was filming a panorama of the capital and didn't even know that my drone was hanging over the American embassy. My commercial drone calmly flew over the stars and stripes, and even the satellites didn't jam it. And no one rushed to arrest me, although I was standing 300 meters from the Americans. For drones today, 30 kilometers is a working distance. In a year, they will fly freely at 50. No special service in the world will be able to create a 50-kilometer security zone. Moreover, the drone fits in a small backpack. Humanity has yet to invent an effective means of counteracting drones. In the near future, we will see a series of aircraft being destroyed by Chinese toys. The drone revolution will definitely be reflected on the political map of the world. In Africa, drones have been attacking airfields for several years now, and recently an FPV drone shot down a helicopter in Myanmar. Quadcopters will become the main threat to aviation, and civilian aviation too, which means that global peace will be dealt a serious blow. Jihadists are already using drones, which means that very soon it will be impossible to quickly transfer reinforcements to Africa, and the UN will not be able to deliver humanitarian aid by air. The world has lost its equilibrium, and Russia was one of the first to feel these changes. The only shame is that we have to learn from our mistakes. Dmitry Medvedev, longtime war cheerleader, ex-Russian president, and Putin puppet, goes on another vodka-fueled rant to all who are worried and waiting for retribution. You need to worry. This is a normal person's quality. Retribution is inevitable. It is important to remember. 1. Our army is actively advancing and will continue to advance. Everything that must explode will certainly explode, and those who must be exterminated will disappear. 2. The negotiations in Istanbul are needed not for a compromise peace on unrealistic conditions invented by someone, but for our speedy victory and the complete destruction of the neo-Nazi government. This is the meaning of the Russian memorandum, which was published yesterday. And Lindsey Graham tweeted, "Congratulations to Mr. Medvedev for a rare moment of honesty coming from the Russian propaganda machine. I appreciate you making it clear to the world that Putin and Russia are not remotely interested in peace. Medvedev says Russia seeks victory, not compromise, in talks with Ukraine." U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson voiced support on June 2nd for a Senate-backed bill aimed at strengthening sanctions against Russia, the New York Post reported. A bipartisan group of U.S. senators said in late May that they are ready to vote on a bill on sanctions against Russia if peace talks on the Russia-Ukraine war do not progress soon. The bill, introduced to the Senate in early April, would impose new penalties on Russia and slap 500% tariffs on imports from countries that buy Russian oil, petroleum products, natural gas, or uranium. There's many members of Congress that want us to sanction Russia as strongly as we can, Johnson said, and I'm an advocate of that. U.S. President Donald Trump said he had not yet imposed new sanctions on Russia because he believed a peace deal might be within reach. If I think I'm close to getting a deal, I don't want to screw it up by doing that, he said, but added he is prepared to act if Moscow stalls further. Russia and Ukraine held a second round of talks in Istanbul on June 2nd. Kyiv presented a peace proposal that reportedly included potential easing of sanctions on Moscow, among other clauses. The condition proposed by Ukraine is that sanctions are automatically renewed if the ceasefire agreement is broken. Following the new round of talks, Russia proposed a limited 2 to 3 day ceasefire in specific frontline areas to recover the bodies of fallen soldiers, while continuing to disregard Ukraine's call for a 30-day unconditional ceasefire supported by Western partners. While Ukraine struck Russia's strategic military targets, Putin continued his terror campaign against Ukrainian civilians. Overnight, Russia launched a mass drone attack on multiple Ukrainian cities. In Chernihiv, a private home burned down. A school, apartment building, and business were damaged. 4 people are hospitalized. In Odessa, several homes and infrastructure were hit, vehicles burned, and 4 people were injured. In Kharkiv region, a civilian facility was struck, destroying a postal terminal. 1 person was killed and another injured. Russia also struck Sumy. Reports indicate there are dead and injured. Preliminary information suggests there were 5 hits from long-range MLRS. As a result, a medical facility, cars, and residential buildings were damaged. Russians have presented what they claim is a Ukrainian intelligence agent detained in Crimea. How did he become an agent? He simply went to the SBU website and offered his services. Just like that. This is how Russian intelligence is trying to clean up its tarnished reputation.
Когда началась война, СВО, я как-то понял, что я не могу оставаться равнодушным, и каким-то эмоциональным всплеском я просто вышел на сайт спецслужб Украины и предложил свои услуги, чем я могу помочь. Вот. В один прекрасный день мне предложили поехать в одно из сел и по координатам и забрать там 2 пакета. Я их забрал, мне гарантировали, что оно не взорвется. Да.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.